Hey, this is John Fernay, the co-host of the Maryland Crabs, and I am here today with a Maryland Crabcake for your listening pleasure. What's a crab cake? It's not quite a full episode, it's just a little snippet. Stay tuned and check it out. And make sure you check us out on themarylandcrabs.com. You can follow us on Twitter at MD Crabs Podcast or find us on Facebook at the Maryland Crabs Podcast. And don't forget, subscribe, rate us, iTunes. Go there now.
The Annapolis Film Festival opens on Thursday, March 30th and runs through Sunday, April 2nd in Annapolis, Maryland. Tickets and passes are available at AnnapolisFilmFestival.com. This is John Fernay with the Maryland Crabcake for the Annapolis Film Festival. SuperGirl is going to make its Annapolis debut on Friday, March 31st at 5:30 p.m. at the Asbury United Methodist Church, and again on Sunday, April 2nd at 2:45 p.m. at the Francis Scott Key Auditorium at St. John's College. SuperGirl is a coming-of-age story. As far as I'm able to tell, it's a coming-of-age story with a whole lot of wrenches thrown into the works. It's the story of Naomi Cutin, an 11-year-old girl with a world record in powerlifting. She fights to hold on to that record while becoming a teen, dealing with some cyberbullying, and balancing an Orthodox Jewish lifestyle on top of it all. Got a full plate for sure. With us today is Jesse Orrit, who is the producer, the writer, and the director of SuperGirl. Thanks for taking some time to talk with us, Jesse. How are you today?
Hi, I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. You're up in New York. Are you getting snow today?
Yeah, I'm actually looking out my window at this blizzard that we're supposedly having, but it looks more like sleet at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know how well you know Washington, but as soon as they mention snow, they just lose their mind and shut everything down. So we've they closed schools like at 2 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday, and it looks like a giant Slurpee. We've got a little bit of slush on the ice, on the grass, and that's about it. But let's talk about SuperGirl. Now, we'll throw it out there. This is not a comic book SuperGirl. This is anything but. And as I was reading looking at the trailer, reading the synopsis, and seeing some of the reviews and everything else, this is one of the exciting ones that I definitely want to get to see. I know and it's one that I'm going to really insist that my girlfriend and her daughters see too, because it's a very powerful movie, especially since we're, at the tail end of National Women's History Month. Is this your first film that you've ever done?
It's my first feature film, yeah. I made a short documentary a few years ago and have worked in video production, making a lot of shorts, but yeah, this is the first feature.
Naomi has an incredibly compelling story. Where did you get this connection? What made you choose her? Do you personally know the family, or how did this come about?
Yeah, I actually just came across an article online about her and her amazing weightlifting feats. She broke a world record for the first time at 9 years old and again at 10. So there had been a bit of press about her accomplishments that went a bit viral. She's been on some national television shows. So when I found out about her, I was really intrigued, mostly just because I was very surprised that a girl from this traditional conservative religious background would be competing in this, male-dominated sport of powerlifting that, you don't hear about, too many young girls doing in general. So I was interested in learning more about her story and really what was going on there, just sort of beyond those headlines and find out what this kind of barrier-breaking girl was really up to in her day-to-day life.
Pretty cool, because I know we did a podcast about a month ago with Lee and Patty from the Annapolis Film Festival, and one of the things that they said, I know when they were looking, I guess they're part of the team that curates the films, but she said, and they've got all sorts of experience, but they said, without a compelling story, you don't have anything. Actually, though, they used a different word, but it was, they said, you've got to have the story. You can't do a movie with special effects. You can't do it with strictly music. It all has to start with the story. And certainly, I think that you've really tapped into this. Go over pretty much the storyline on this. This follows Naomi Cutin from at what age and where do you pick up in her life as she is going through her powerlifting career?
Yeah, well, we met Naomi and started filming when she was 11 years old. And, by that time she had broken the world record in the squat in the 97-pound weight class twice and was trying to continue to break it in that weight class.
Okay, and that 97-pound weight class, that's her weight, not what she's lifting. I mean, she's doing like 235 pounds, was it, or something crazy like that?
Yeah, so at 10 years old, she had the record for, I mean, she weighed 95 pounds. She was squatting 215 pounds at 10 years old. And then, continued to go up and up until I think her last standing record, I don't want to give too much away in the film, but was, about 235 pounds in that weight class. So, lifting a lot more than she weighs herself.
So that's incredible. And at 11, that's just, I've got 3 kids, and I'm going to say 11 ranks right up there and is one of the most sort of gawky, awkward, oh my God, what's happening to me ages for both boys or girls. And it's amazing that she's able to deal with this.
Yeah, well, that was one of the things I was interested in is, following her through that time period of adolescence, because it's such a, challenging phase for all of us in life. And then let alone she's, in the national spotlight, breaking world records, being in the media. And so, it just makes it all the more, challenging for her. And so we followed her from age 11 to 14 as she kind of goes through that process, and followed her bat mitzvah, which is a coming of age ceremony for girls. Sure. Yeah. So I knew that was going to happen, which, sort of her symbolic transition into adulthood. And so it was really a fascinating time to watch her change and develop during those years. And you see it in the film too, both, you see her physically transform and then also emotionally and mentally transform as well.
Sure. I know the synopsis talks a little bit about cyberbullying. Where did that come? I mean, without giving away any secrets, because everybody needs to go see this when it comes into Annapolis at the end of the month.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where does this? I mean, what type of cyberbullying was it? Because I mean, bullying is just in general is just a huge issue nationwide. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, so she, from the time she started lifting at 8 years old, her parents have been uploading videos of her accomplishments on YouTube and on Facebook. So from a very young age, she's been, in the public eye. And then, along with that, unfortunately, comes being the target of cyberbullying, because there's so many trolls and terrible people on the internet. So, I mean,
just what an 11-year-old needs.
Yeah. I mean, it's really, really horrible. And I was sort of shocked to learn about that. I guess I'm somewhat naive that there are like these kind of people out there in the world, because I was like, how could someone be so nasty to such a young girl who's doing something so awesome? But, all this stuff, if you look her up, she goes under SuperGirl is like on social media. So, but you can find her Facebook page, Instagram, YouTube, and you can, I mean, it's open, and those forums are open for anyone to comment on. So, receiving anything, a variety of things, but just really not nice things that, it will be hard for anyone to deal with, let alone a young child. So, but I think, for her, she's been in the spotlight for so long, she's actually grown from that and learned from those experiences at a much younger age than anyone would have. And I think, in a way is like, much stronger.
Life's too short to deal with jerks, and it's kind of nice that she may have learned that at a young age. That's for sure. Yeah, because I think a lot of people, really don't learn that and don't know how to handle that even as adults. So, yeah, it's definitely interesting how she's handled it. That is true. Now, I know that Naomi's parents were just critical to her success. They were super, super supportive of her through the whole journey and continue to be. How involved was the family and Naomi with the film? I mean, was she on set? Was she? Yeah, I mean, they were very, very involved every step of the way. And they, the film wouldn't have been a film without them on board. The weight or powerlifting is a full family affair for the Cuttons. Her dad is a lifter, and her younger brother is also a lifter. And while her mom doesn't lift, she's very involved as a coach and works out herself in her own
Right.
So she's like the soccer mom of the weightlifting crowd.
Oh yeah, but like way much more than that too. I mean, she's
sure
crucial to the whole aspect of weightlifting and with their family. But yeah, I mean, the film is a really, it's about Nami's amazing feats in powerlifting, but it's also a very intimate portrait of the family and just what they're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. And so we, needed their trust and openness to let us in and film with them. And that's actually one of the things a lot of people will respond about the film, because they say, people will say like, oh, it's almost as if you had hidden cameras or you're a fly on the wall, because it seems like these regular family interactions, even though we were obviously filming with them. But yeah, I mean, it was over a 3-year process, so we were really able to build those relationships and trust with the family for them to let us in and give us access to filming their lives.
Okay, so your creation of this film then is not necessarily based on recollections of the family. I mean, you I must say lived with them. I mean, you developed this film and created this film during the time that this was happening, correct? Or am I off on that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we started filming when Nami was 11, and over the course of 3 years would probably film about on average once or twice a month. So we'd come to their house and film what was going on. We'd go to competitions with them. We'd go to her school. We'd go to powerlifting or go to her bat mitzvah, all that sort of thing. So yeah, everything that was happening in their lives was, we were capturing on film and was developing in real time.
Okay, stupid question from me. Nami, is she starring in this herself?
Oh yeah, so it's a documentary, so it's all real.
Okay.
It's there's no script, there's no actors. This is real life.
Wow. Okay. That makes it even much more powerful. She's 15 or 16 now. I'm guessing.
She is 15 and a sophomore in high school.
And what does the future hold for her? Do you know? I mean, you've had such an intimate view into the family.
Well, she's still going strong with her powerlifting, and I mean, at this point, she's lifting more weight than ever. It's pretty insane. But yeah, I mean, but aside from that, she's also just a normal teenager and goes to school. She goes to a all-girls Jewish school, so that might be a little bit different. But she does her work. She does, runs track. She's involved with, school plays and extracurriculars. But yeah, she's kind of like a normal girl looking to go to college eventually. She, at the moment, says she wants to be a physical therapist is, one of the things she's considering going into for her future. But yeah, she's kind of just a normal everyday girl. Looking at her, you would never know that she was able to lift almost 3 times her body weight.
That's true. Does she have any aspirations for the Olympics in 2020 in Tokyo? Do you know?
Well, what's interesting, and I learned this throughout filming because I didn't know that much about powerlifting before I started the film, but powerlifting, the kind of lifting she does, is just the squat, bench press, and deadlift, and that's actually different than Olympic weightlifting. So Olympic weightlifting, they do all sorts of kinds of other lifts, like the clean and jerk, and I don't actually, right. I'm not an expert on this. But so as of now, powerlifting is not an Olympic sport. So I think there's a campaign to get it into the Olympics, but as of now, that's not one of the sports that they have.
Well, I've learned an awful lot about the Olympics there now at this point. Every phone call always yields something I didn't know. Now, are you going to be coming down to Annapolis for the film festival at the end of the month?
Unfortunately, I'm not, because the film is also going to be playing at a few other festivals around the country at the same time. So,
oh, fine.
Yeah.
So we're like second fiddle. I see.
Oh no, I wish I could. I'd try to go to as many screenings as possible, but yeah, we're too much. Every festival seems to be at the same time, so unfortunately, won't be able to make it there. I hear the crab cakes are great.
the crab cakes are good. We do have that going for us here. As Philadelphia's got their cheesesteaks, but you've got the pizza, the market on pizza up there. That's for sure. Well, SuperGirl is going to make its debut in Annapolis on Friday, March 31st at 5:30 p.m. at the Asbury United Methodist Church, and again on Sunday, April 2nd at 2:45 at the Francis Scott Key Auditorium at St. John's College. And that's a really big venue. That's a probably 600 or 700 seat theater there. So make sure you can get out to one of those screenings. This is an incredibly moving powerful documentary that was dreamt up, put together by Jessie, who is on the phone with us here today. And she is Jessie Ard is the director, producer, and editor of SuperGirl. The Annapolis Film Festival does open again on March 30th. It runs through Sunday, April 2nd in Annapolis, Maryland. You can get tickets and passes at AnnapolisFilmFestival.com. This is John Pernay with a Maryland Crabcake for the Annapolis Film Festival. Jessie, thank you very, very much for taking some time out of your day to talk with us, survive the snow, and I am really looking forward to seeing SuperGirl when it comes down to Annapolis.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I hope you enjoy the film.
Absolutely will. Hey, and everybody else that's listening, make sure you talk movie to me.